GMNA uses artificial intelligence for generated speech, visuals, and production. AI-generated content may contain errors. Please verify important information before making decisions or taking action.
Good morning, Montreal. I'm Lauren Dupuis. We'll start with the mayor's response to the police racism investigation and the launch of Porter Airlines at the revamped airport. Traffic is heavy with road closures and the SDM strike, and the new 815 bus will link the West Island to Trudeau. Over to you, Ryan.
The Montreal Canadiens saw Captain Nick Suzuki win the Selk Trophy for defensive excellence this season.
Cole Caulfield received the Lady Byng Trophy, recognizing sportsmanship and gentlemanly conduct, representing the Canadiens.
Both awards were presented during the NHL awards ceremony held earlier this week in Toronto.
All right, let's get into it, starting with the mayor's response to recent community concerns and today's top headlines. Good morning, Montreal. Here's what you need to know to start your day: traffic updates, weather outlook, and the latest headlines shaping our community. Mayor Christine Freichet of Montreal Nord condemned recent racist allegations on Tuesday, saying the community will not tolerate hate within its own police force. 16 officers from SBVM Station 39 are now under investigation for alleged hateful and racist gestures captured by residents and bystanders. The mayor announced the probe after mounting complaints that the police have been profiling neighborhood residents. She urged the police chief to act swiftly and transparently, stressing that trust between officers and the public must be rebuilt. The Service de Police de la Ville de Montreal confirmed the inquiry is ongoing and that officers will be suspended pending the outcome. Community leaders called for independent oversight, while the mayor pledged to support any measures that ensure accountability and protect the rights of all citizens in Montreal Nord.
Porter Airlines rolled out its first commercial flights today from the newly upgraded Montreal Metropolitan Airport on the South Shore. The modernized terminal, completed after a year-long renovation, now features expanded gates, upgraded security lanes, and a larger baggage handling system designed to accommodate the carrier's regional jet fleet. Airport officials said the launch marks the airport's transition from a general aviation hub to a full-service passenger gateway, opening new travel options for South Shore residents and easing congestion at the island's larger facilities. Porter's inaugural routes will connect to Toronto, Ottawa, and Halifax, with additional destinations slated for the coming months. The airline highlighted the airport's improved passenger amenities, including a new cafe, free Wi-Fi, and streamlined check-in kiosks. Passengers are likely to notice shorter queues and a smoother boarding flow, officials said, as regular service begins this morning.
Quebec's government unveiled a new guide today for companies looking to integrate artificial intelligence responsibly. The document, presented by Minister Jean Boulet, lays out practical steps to ensure that human judgment remains central to any AI-driven decision. Officials say the framework is designed to help businesses navigate ethical, legal, and operational challenges while protecting workers and consumers. The guide includes recommendations on transparency, data stewardship, bias mitigation, and clear accountability structures. It also encourages firms to involve employees early in the design of AI systems and to maintain oversight mechanisms that can intervene when automated outputs conflict with human values. By providing these tools, the province aims to strengthen its broader AI policy agenda and position Quebec as a leader in trustworthy technology deployment. The initiative follows months of consultation with industry groups and academic experts and underscores the province's commitment to keep people at the core of AI decision-making.
Gunshots rang out near a Montreal park on Tuesday as a celebration was underway, prompting a swift police response. The Montreal Police Service confirmed that officers heard fire and moved in, arresting one individual at the scene. 2 additional suspects remain at large, and detectives are actively searching for them. The incident occurred on June 14 in the vicinity of the park where the party was being held. Police have not released further details about the motive or the identities of those involved. Officers established a perimeter around the park and are reviewing video footage from nearby cameras. The Montreal Police Service said additional units have been deployed to assist with the search for the 2 persons of interest. The department will release further updates as the investigation proceeds. No injuries have been reported so far.
Yesterday, a ledger poll commissioned by Centraide for Greater Montreal found that 48% of Quebecers say they are feeling moderate to extreme financial anxiety. The questionnaire reached adults in both urban centers and rural regions, using a standard anxiety scale that ranges from none to extreme. The survey, conducted across the province, asked respondents to rate their level of worry about money and reported that nearly half are experiencing significant stress. Researchers said the findings point to a rise in financial concern among residents, echoing broader economic pressures. Centraide highlighted the data as evidence that more households may need support as costs climb. The organization plans to use the results to shape its charitable programs and to inform policymakers about the scale of the problem. No further details on demographic breakdown were released at this time. Up next, we unpack Quebec's coordinated response to domestic violence and the 815 bus linking West Island to Trudeau Airport. We will be right back.
Watch the local sunset tonight at 6 p.m. for all your local Montreal news.
If you run a venue, a comedy night, a concert, a fundraiser, you already know the hardest part isn't the show. It's selling the seats. Theaterfiller changes that. In minutes, you're set up with your own ticketing page, QR code delivery, and a door scanner. No technical headaches. No middleman taking a cut of your night. Your event, your tickets, your revenue. Go to theaterfiller.com and fill every seat.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope you had a chance to stretch. Let's dive into today's headlines, and now Ryan Mercer has the local stories for you.
Quebec police, domestic violence interveners, and prosecutors have been working together under a coordinated plan that began in 2021. The province's new framework brings law enforcement officers, support workers, and legal teams into the same process, aiming to streamline how cases move from initial report to courtroom. Officials say the joint approach reduces delays and improves safety for victims by ensuring that each step is handled by the appropriate specialist. Since the rollout, teams report faster information sharing and more consistent follow-up. The initiative reflects a province-wide effort to make responses to domestic violence incidents more effective, with all parties accountable for a single, unified strategy. Residents can expect a more cohesive system when they call for help, as the combined resources are designed to act quickly and consistently. The province says the model could serve as a template for other jurisdictions seeking similar improvements.
Starting in mid-June, a new 815 bus will run directly between the Des Sources REM station and Montreal Trudeau Airport. The service, running through the summer into the fall, gives West Island residents a transit link for airport travel during the busiest season. Officials created the route to improve connectivity for commuters who previously needed to transfer or drive. The line will stop at key points along the corridor, offering a straightforward option for those catching early flights or returning home after a trip. The 815 line runs daily, with departures about every 20 minutes at peak times. Officials noted the service aligns with the airport's expected rise in passenger numbers throughout the summer holiday stretch. With the added bus, riders can expect a more convenient and predictable way to reach the airport without relying on personal vehicles, easing traffic around the terminal during peak periods.
Tonight's Francos de Montreal will shine a spotlight on a landmark of Quebec rock. Jean Leloup's cult classic, Le Dôme, returns to the stage on Sunday evening, June 14th, marking its 30th anniversary. The singer will lead a live rendition of the album that first burst onto the scene in '96, an effort that fans say helped define a generation of local sound. Organizers say the performance offers a chance for longtime listeners to relive the record's iconic tracks and for newer audiences to discover why it remains a touchstone. The event is part of the festival's broader celebration of French-language music, and tickets have already been in high demand. Expect a night of familiar riffs, soaring choruses, and the kind of energy that made Le Dôme a staple of Quebec playlists.
Starting June 12th, the Burgundy Lion will turn its usual bustle into a dedicated World Cup hub. The downtown pub, a longtime favorite for local soccer enthusiasts, has scheduled a series of fan nights to coincide with the 2026 tournament. Patrons can expect multiple screens, themed food specials, and a lively atmosphere as matches roll across the globe. The venue's regular tournament nights have built a reputation for camaraderie, and organizers say the World Cup events will amplify that spirit. With the competition drawing crowds from across the province, the Burgundy Lion aims to offer a comfortable spot for fans to cheer, share a pint, and follow every goal. The pub staff is preparing extra seating and a schedule of match-by-match viewings to ensure no one misses a moment of the action.
The mayor announced today a commitment to deliver answers and to fast-track the city's body camera program after a series of accusations that police officers engaged in racist conduct. In a press briefing on June 13th, the mayor said the municipality will accelerate the rollout of the cameras, aiming for earlier deployment across all patrol units. The promise follows growing public concern over alleged bias within the police service, and officials indicated that the footage could help clarify future incidents. City staff will work with the police board to secure funding and training, and a timeline will be shared with residents in the coming weeks. The mayor emphasized that transparency and accountability are essential to restoring confidence in law enforcement practices. A public forum is scheduled for later this month to discuss the implementation plan.
Now, let's take a quick look at your morning forecast with our meteorologist, Alex.
Here's a quick look at what the sky and temperature have planned for Montreal this beautiful Sunday. On this day, the city once sweltered to a record high of 27.7 degrees back in 2016, a spike that rode the tail of a lingering heat wave across the province. By contrast, just 9 years later, the thermometer dipped to a record low of 8.4 degrees in 2025, when an unusually brisk Arctic front pushed southward. Normal June readings usually hover around 22 degrees for the high and 14 degrees for the low, so both extremes stand out sharply against the typical summer rhythm. At 7 this morning, Montreal sits under a thick overcast veil with a temperature of 15 degrees and humidity near 93%. A gentle breeze from the southwest pushes at 14 kilometers per hour, keeping the air feeling fresh. By 9, a break in the clouds will let the temperature climb to 17 degrees, and the sky will stay mainly clear through the midday hour when it reaches 19 degrees. The afternoon will warm to a comfortable 20 degrees, still under clear skies, before clouds begin to thicken again as evening approaches. Expect the temperature to ease back to 17 degrees by 7 o'clock, and the sun will set just before 9:44 at night. No weather alerts are in effect today. Looking ahead, Monday will start the week with a bright, mainly clear sky and a high of 20 degrees, while the night cools to 11 degrees. Tuesday brings a bit more cloud cover, staying overcast throughout the day, and temperatures will rise to 23 degrees before dipping to 12 in the evening. Wednesday offers a pleasant mix, partly cloudy with a chance of showers at 35% and a high of 22 degrees, cooling to 15 at night. Thursday turns wetter as rain dominates the day, 90% chance, and the temperature will hover around 20 degrees before a low of 16. Finally, Friday brings a lighter drizzle, about 45% probability, with a high of 21 degrees and a comfortable 15-degree night.
Coming up, traffic snarls on roads, a recap of the Habs Selk and Lady Byng winners, and La Nadia's reopening. We will be right back.
Watch the local sunset tonight at 6 p.m. for all your local Montreal news.
Major congestion is building on Autoroute des Coaries at the des Coaries interchange southbound. A serious blockage there is spilling onto the stretch between Rue Jean Talon and Chemin de la Côte Saint-Luc, also westbound. Expect stop-and-go traffic and delays of at least 15 minutes through the morning rush. On Autoroute Métropolitaine near Boulevard Lacordaire, westbound traffic is halted by a major hindrance, while eastbound drivers face a smaller slowdown. Boulevard Gouin southbound is also gridlocked by a major incident, adding further delays in the southwest quadrant. All other major routes, including the eastbound side of the Métropolitaine and the north-south arteries, remain clear for now. In transit, the STM strike continues to limit service. Buses and metro are running only on peak hour schedules, so riders should anticipate longer waits and crowded trains. Expect these conditions to hold into the early afternoon before any easing later in the day.
There are no verified listings available for today. And now here's Tyler with sports.
Big hardware for the Habs, 2 NHL trophies heading to Montreal. A double win for the Montreal Canadiens at the NHL Awards. Captain Nick Suzuki claimed the Frank J. Selk Trophy, while Cole Caulfield took home the Lady Byng Trophy. The league announced both awards on Friday, according to CBC Sports NHL, a landmark night for this young Canadiens core. The Canadiens' playoff run is over. Carolina's Logan Stankoven scored one of 3 first-period goals in Game 5 of the Eastern Conference Final, helping the Hurricanes eliminate Montreal and advance to the Stanley Cup Final. a tough ending for a Habs squad that showed plenty this spring. The Canadiens' playoff run is over. Carolina's Logan Stankoven scored one of 3 first-period goals in Game 5 of the Eastern Conference Final, and the Hurricanes eliminated Montreal, advancing to the Stanley Cup Final. That report comes from CBC Sports.
La Nadia in the heart of Maisonneuve has thrown its doors open again, this time under a canopy of sky. Montreal's only women-focused sports bar reborn as an outdoor ginked, the new patio stretches onto the street, offering extra tables and 2 pétanque courts where fans can rally over a match or a friendly game. After a forced closure at its original spot, founders have turned a setback into a community hub, keeping the cheers alive while they hunt for a permanent indoor home. It's more than a bar. It's a safe space where women can celebrate sport, friendship, and local pride. La Nadia reminds us that Montreal thrives when we lift each other up. Later, we'll celebrate Montreal's pubs rallying for World Cup fan nights, uniting the city in festive spirit. Stay tuned.
Coming up tonight at 6, the local sunset. Your neighborhood, your city, your news. From City Hall decisions to the stories happening right on your street, we cover what matters most to Montrealers. Join us tonight at 6 p.m. on gmna for the local sunset, Montreal's evening newscast.
In the heart of the plateau, just as the market stalls begin to open, volunteers from Hema, Quebec set up a bright blue table beside St. Laurent Boulevard. Lauren watches a young mother hand her toddler a red balloon, while the volunteer hands her a friendly orange wristband that signals a donor's promise. The summer outreach campaign, launched across the province, turns the ordinary street into a gathering place for neighbors who pause their morning coffee run to give a pint of blood or plasma. One of the donors, a retired schoolteacher named Marcel, shares how a single donation helped his former student, now a new mother, receive the transfusion she needed after a complicated delivery. The scene captures the quiet power of community, people stepping out of their routines, smiling at each other, knowing their small act will travel through hospitals and into the lives of strangers. As National Blood Donor Week begins, the ripple spreads from this corner of Montreal to the farthest corners of Quebec. Together, we keep the heart of our city beating.
On the corner of Beaubien Avenue West and Duracher Street, the weather-worn red brick building at 435 Beaubien has been a living canvas for Mile X artists for generations. Inside, the scent of linseed oil mingles with the faint hum of a saxophone that drifts through the hallway as painters set up easels beside sculptors polishing marble. When news of a redevelopment plan spread, the studio's regulars gathered on a crisp Saturday morning for a pop-up showcase, inviting neighbors, cafe owners, and a curious city councilor. The walls filled with vivid murals that told the story of the neighborhood, while a community potluck turned the courtyard into a mosaic of shared dishes and laughter. Moved by the outpouring, the councilor announced that the building would be designated a cultural hub, preserving the studios and adding a rooftop garden for artists to find fresh inspiration. The moment the decision was read aloud, a chorus of relieved sighs and claps echoed through the brick corridors, reminding everyone that a shared vision can protect the places that shape us. The studio remains a place where imagination lives, and that is something we can all hold on to.
Thank you, Montreal, for joining us on the local sunrise. Tonight's highlight was Porter Airlines' launching service at the newly revamped Montreal airport, a promising boost for travelers. We appreciate your trust, stay tuned, and we'll be back tomorrow with more stories that matter. See you then.